Kintsugi Koko here. Welcome to my quirky eclectic vlog. I hope everyone is having a fantabulous day. I am so excited. Today has been such a giddy day. I just clearly woke up on the right side of the bed. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. I realized that I am less than 200 books away from having my own library. And I remember when I started and I only had 200. And of course, carrying that excitement into my day to day. After my morning workout and breakfast, we got showered and out the door. Delivered some fresh made homemade brownies I made from scratch for my son's pizza party today in class. And they were so yummy. Ugh, I had to taste test one of the extras because I can't send in brownies and not know how they taste. I don't know what it is. I have always just made the best brownies. And I used to in high school for friends' birthdays, I would bake them brownies with the box mix and I would decorate it with frosting and give it to them for their birthday. But it literally became like everyone was like, oh, am I going to get brownies for my birthday? Am I going to get brownies? I don't know what it was. All the love I put into it. I guess we'll say that. All the love I put into my food. But this morning I made them from scratch. I was going to make them last night and Space could edit it. However, I said, you know what? I have plenty of time to do it this morning. So this morning I made them. I got the mix put together when my son was still home. And then while I jumped in the shower, put them in the oven, there was somebody else helping me watch the brownies so that they didn't get burned. But they were really yummy. I hope the class loved them. I made just enough for all the kids and then one for the teacher. And then wrote him a little card thanking him because Derek, my son, seems to really enjoy having him as a teacher. And I wanted to make sure he was well aware that he is admired and honored in our household. So, yeah. And then we meandered around. We were going to go to the cemetery. And then we thought otherwise. I could walk around the cemetery, but right now with all the snow out, it's kind of hard. It kind of takes away the fun of walking around the cemetery. So I walked around a church instead. And oh my goodness, it was so incredible. Let me see if I can find it. I always drive by this church, right? And it's really pretty. And it has, I believe it's limestone. It could be marble. It is all right there. Beautiful. Is all around gorgeous and stunning, right? And it's either marble or limestone. It looks more like marble, but then it has like copper bits at the top that have patinaed and are really pretty green. So I always drive past it and I'm like, you know what? I really want to walk around and see what that, like, I want to walk around and look at that church. I tried going yesterday. However, my little poochie poo, his feet was starting to hurt because it was so cold outside. So we cut our walk short. So I wasn't able to see it yesterday. And then I was like, you know what? Today I'm doing it. So I did it. And I thought it was so cool. Okay. Not only is this church like magnificent to just look at, the sun was out this morning and it was so beautiful, bright blue sky behind it. And just, oh, you could see the sun rays. It was just so beautiful. And then when I crossed the street and started kind of walking up to the church, I noticed under the awnings that they have on the outside of it, there was paintings and murals up underneath, which the artist in me got really excited. So I went under and I started looking at it. Y'all! So I actually seen a video, I think it was yesterday, that was talking about when it comes to religion, if you don't also understand the astrological part of it, you're not going to fully understand what the Bible's talking about. And I was like, yeah, obviously, like I've always felt that way. And I was an outlier for it. Like no one believed me and everyone just thought I was cuckoo for it. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And today at this church, you guys, when I looked up, so one of they have like rounded entry ones and then it's like a So the words. So leading up to the church, there's two coverings. And at the ends of each covering is like a rounded dome. And then obviously behind it is just kind of flat. And under the dome part, when you look up, it was a really pretty starry sky. And then there was an emblem in the center of one. On the other one, the painting, I'm assuming, eroded or fell away. So there was nothing there, and it looked like it had eroded. Like, you know, when paint peels and it's just left the plaster or whatever. However, in every corner, or by every pillar that held the dome up, was, yeah, okay, the dome, right? There was an angel in one corner, a bird or an eagle in one, a lion in the other, and a bull in the other. And I was like, I remember seeing this in my tarot card the other day. And I was like, no shit. It literally was a confirmation and affirmation of what I was learning about and discussing with Source about. And I didn't really remember what card. I thought it was, honestly, probably the Magician is probably what I thought it was. However, when I pulled it out of my deck, it's the Wheel of Fortune with Anubis. Anubis? No, Anubis. Is it Anubis? Wow, Anubis. With Anubis and a snake. We were talking about snakes yesterday. And then also we have the beautiful Sphinx with the sword, with the clarity, the clear mind. Ah, how freaking awesome is that? That's so cool. 6:56 on my timer when I just looked down. I was geeking so hard, y'all. I was like, oh my God. And then I was even thinking about it further. If you really want to think about it, you have air, water, earth, fire, Leo's fire, and earth. The four elements. And then you have spirit, which is the clarity, the clear thought, the clairsentience. How cool! And I was obviously geeking and on a little nerdy high, if you will. I was just really vibing with today, you guys. It was so beautiful. And then I noticed across the street at the top of one of the church buildings. It wasn't the church, but it was just one of the buildings they had right there. There's a bell tower way up there with a little bell in it. And I was like, oh, I've never noticed that before. So I was kind of peeping that. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to go to a museum. So I was trying to find museums I haven't gone to in my area, which sadly, there's not that many, which is kind of depressing because we love museums. I know the exhibits change, but I don't know. I like exploring new spaces I've never been in, you know? And so I found this one that was really cool. It is an old church, and then I think it was it turned into a mortuary, and then now it's a museum. And I was like, yeah, let's go do that, because that sounds really freaking cool. They do overnight haunted, like, ghost stays where you can stay and paranormal investigate it. Those are the words I was trying to find. Do paranormal investigations overnight, which was pretty cool. However, we don't play with that jazz. That is not for us. That's for other people. We get enough communication. We're good. So they're not open because winter, but they are open for those. So if anyone likes to do paranormal investigations in my area, Buffalo area, there's a museum for it. Pretty cool. So I'll have to try it in the summer because that would be dope to walk around and see. Instead, I found a manuscript library museum. How perfectly fitting for today. So I went and did that. I walked around. I mean, they were talking about the communication between the 13 colonies and British Empire on taxation. That was pretty cool. However, 'tis not my niche. Still read all the information, though. Started getting sleepy. I almost fell asleep a few times. My body was, like, jolted awake. It was so bad. Anywho. And I noticed they had a local artist, I believe his name was Lawrence Williams, who had done murals of all the presidents and their wives. So I walked around and looked at his beautiful artwork. And then once I finished looking at that, they had a case full of amateur boxing memorabilia from the area, which was really cool because not the curator, but the manager, the person that was attending the library, it was very intimate, it was 24 cases, very minuscule because it is an amplitude of information. However, he was telling me, it was he was very attentive and giving me lots of information, which was really cool. So he was saying how it's really cool because you can see like the different generations of the amateur boxers. Because at one point, a lot of Italian immigrants came in and there was a lot of Italian boxers. And then there was a lot of Polish immigrants. So then there was a lot of Polish boxers. And he told me where the migration pattern is currently, but I forgot it's two different groups and I forgot what their names were. But it was really cool because they remind me of my papa. My papa used to be a boxer when he was back in his ruffian days. Words. So it was pretty cool looking at it and seeing all the signed boxing mitts and the different plaques that they had. It was pretty cool. And then also they had some Dr. Seuss, or Dr. Suss is how it's supposed to be pronounced, I believe, because it's supposed to rhyme with bus. So I always say it wrong. I used to say Swace, and then I said Seuss because everyone else was saying Seuss, and I'd seen somewhere where it's supposed to rhyme with bus. So whatever the divine gentleman's name is, he was a very intelligent man of his day, and he was very, very on one by deciding to teach children psychology in these books, right? So he talks about how there's three parts of the psyche. You have your ID, your ego, and your superego. And he uses his books to showcase this is the person acting in an ego. This is the person acting in the ID. So the cat acting ridiculous and just whatever he wants, he does. That's in the ID. Whereas the fish, usually in like red fish, blue fish, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, that book. La 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 la. The fish in the bowl, I guess he's in quite a few of the books. The fish in the bowl is the superego protecting or guiding, if you will, the ID. And the ego, I think, is what they were saying is the children, where it's the balance of being silly, but then also being responsible. And I thought that was so beautiful because I was obsessed with him when I was younger. There used to be a Dr. Seuss museum. Yes, I'm going to just say it that way because this is naturally how my brain wants to. Not too far from my house when I was a little girl. We lived in Ocala, Florida. And I went there one time with school, and then when I realized how close it was to my house, pretty sure I walked there once or twice. We're not going to discuss what age I was and whether or not I was attended by an adult, because I don't think so. And if I was, it probably was very, very loose watching. However, I'm a very intelligent young woman who got myself there and back and survived. I like to think of Matilda was a very good guidance as to how I responded to life as a child. So I went there like 2 or 3 times and I loved it. It was kind of like if you've ever done the museums where they do, like in England, in London, they just recently did the Van Gogh interactive like walkthrough. So you could see all of his artwork, and they brought it to life with lighting and with holograph, drone. I don't know what the technical terms, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And I did it several times. But I absolutely was probably picking up on the psyche part of it, and was like, this makes so much sense. I also was obsessed with a book series that taught you how to be emotionally intelligent as a child. I'll look up the book name when I post onto my social media. However, today has been phenomenal, y'all. I love you guys big much, and I hope you guys have a fantabulous rest of your day, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Toodaloo.